And testing the audio. I think we should be okay. Muting Twitch. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Refresh chat. Oh. There we go. Okay, well, it's 7 p.m. local time, so I think we are just going to start whether or not people are going to show up. Okay. Let's see, let's do some changes still. That's better. Oh, well, that delay is a lot less than yesterday. Nice, okay. So, hi. I'm not sure how many people are on right now, but I'm sure more people will join later. Purpose of today's stream will be to build decks with the cards that we took apart yesterday. They are all stored in these 5 binders, or 6 if you count this one. 6 one. And we are going to try and make as many decks as possible while keeping them more or less decent quality. As you can see on the screen here, oh wow. Here I have a step list like yesterday. In the multi-deck building article that I have on the blog, you can see the steps as well. I did change it up a little bit because we got contracts, which we are going to build with first today. So we are going to build as many contract decks as we can using the contracts that we have. I am not going to do the one with 100 cards because that will be a pain to build for. But we are going to try and do as many of the others as possible. And I would like to start with a Bond of Friendship deck. Now I am going to be net decking a couple of them. Just because the people over at RingsDB are much better deck builders than I am. So I will pop on and off the display of my table, as you can see right now. And I believe you can see the desktop as well. There we are. Oh, well. This was not made for my screen aspect ratio. Let's see if this is better. Oh, Hello. Crap. Let's fix this. Why can I not? Okay. Can I move this? Something like this, maybe. Shrink it a little bit. There we go. This works. Okay, so we will be using RingsDB today just to net deck a couple of decks, just because I don't have the experience with a couple of these contracts to build decent decks with. Now, like I said, I will be using, so let's grab the contracts and switch back. There we go. I can already tell this is going to be a pain to switch back and forth. But we have our contracts over here, and we are going to be using the most recent one, Bond of Friendship, to build the first deck. And I have already done a Bond of Friendship Dwarf Deck, which we took apart yesterday. But today we are going to use this to make a Bond of Friendship Hobbit Deck. I know, not the most original idea, but I want to see it, and from what I've heard, it's quite powerful. Or at least you don't have the threat issues that the Dwarf Deck has, just because Dwarf Decks tend to be high threat. So we are going to start with the Bond of Friendship, and I am going to look up what deck ideas we can come up with. Bond of Friendship. Let's swap here. Bond of Friendship. Oh. Let's start with the Cs10 deck. That's always fun. Let's see. Ooh, I don't like seeing Spirit Pippin in here. Okay, the only changes I am going to make to this is I am excluding Spirit Pippin, just because I am not going to be using my deck for any saga quests anyway, because I rarely play those. So I will be removing him, and I will probably take on Spirit Frodo, just to cover all of our bases. Yeah, because the other Spirit Hobbits possibilities are few and far between. And I mean, you can choose Spirit Pippin or Fetty Bulger, and neither one is really appealing, to me at least. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to switch back, and I am going to pick up. Oh, I'm going to put up the deck list on screen for me. But yeah, we are just going to start building a Hobbit deck. Let me see if I can make it so I can still see chat. I am seeing more people trickling in. I am not sure if the quality in mic is still okay, so if people have any comments on the current setup, I did change a few things. But other than that, let's get going with the first deck. You guys can talk about what we should build afterwards. But I just want to have a Hobbit deck with this new with the new contract. So let's start with that. I will be using the alt art Sam Gamgee I got. If you weren't here yesterday, I have a selection of alt art heroes, as you can see in the binder. And those heroes are alt arts by Magali, and they were given to me by Beorn during Conference 2019. Oh, actually, never mind. Spirit Mary is quite okay for Spirit Hobbits, but I'm running his Tactics version, so that's not going to be a possibility. And then the deck requires Volko. Okay, no, that's fine. We can use Volko. We will still run Pippin. We'll probably use his ally version. That's a good thing about the unique Hobbits. They tend to have multiple versions. So here we have our hero lineup. All in all, we have 15, 21, 28, -4. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Also, a good reason to start with Bond of Friendship is just because the deck restrictions on that card are quite severe, since you cannot run more than 50 cards, and you must have exactly 10 of each sphere. Let's see, players' side quests. We are going to be taking on Storm Comes and Gather Information. We are not using the One Ring in this deck. We are going to be running 2 copies of Gandalf, but as you saw yesterday, I have about 14 copies in total. Let's make sure this is all pointing the same direction. Okay, let's see, other neutral cards. We have... Oh, okay. Let's see, do you guys want to see the deck on screen, or do you prefer to just have... Because I can move it, I think. But let's try it like this, and you guys can let me know. We can always change later. We have quite a few decks to build today, so if this doesn't work, we have plenty of options. Let's see, we have all hobbits, so Sharfolk, obvious choice. 2 copies. We have Resourceful, 2 copies. And is that already all of our neutral cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Okay, so you get 10 cards per sphere quite quickly. That's something to look out for. Next up, we have the Tactics deck. Tactics deck will be running mostly events, but I want to make sure that we are also running. Are we missing Pippin? Yes, we are. Okay, so I am going to put in this isn't an original deck, but that's the benefit of net decking, but only half. You get inspiration from the deck, but you implement some cards that you otherwise aren't going to be using in other decks. So let's run Farmer Maggot, Bywater Sheriff, let's see. In terms of events, we will be taking Feint. These are going to run out pretty quickly, so we are only going to take 1. Halfling Determination, 1 copy, and I suppose, where is it? Bracy Shire. Just to get our allies out quickly. And let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 10 cards, but we only have attachments to go. And the deck calls for 2 copies of... Where is it? All the way in the back. Yep, Dagger of Westerness. So that's Tactics. Moving on, Leadership. The first card we are going to be needing is Build a Pony. 2 copies, get some extra hit points on our heroes. We are going to be, yeah. Let's see, suppose. Oh no, we actually aren't going to need that. We are going to run Sneak Attacks because we have 2 copies of Gandalf. Oh, I nearly forgot. This is the perfect deck for Rosie Cotton, and if you guys are wondering why I have 6 copies, well, these 2 aren't exactly the same. Hi, Daniel. Oh, that's an interesting thought. A Messenger of the King Haleth deck Yeah, that could work. It saves you quite a lot of resources, gets you Galadriel right off the back. We can build that afterwards. That will take up another one of our contracts, right? Words. We are going to run the red book. That's going to be nice. It also calls for Steward of Gondor, but I'm probably not going to use Steward in this deck. Just because we can include so much more, and Steward will be better in other decks. We cannot run Mary, but we can run the Hobbit Archer. Let's check him out, see if he's any good. Some extra willpower or attack strength. I think there's only one possible option, because Sam only has his leadership version, which means that Frodo cannot use his leadership version, so you need to do his spirit version, and the spirit version locks out Merry and Pippin to their lore and tactics versions. So yeah, you only get one option, unless you do Messenger of the King, but then you cannot run Bond of Friendship Contract. But if you would run those two contracts together, you could do Spirit Sam, the ally, and then run Leadership Frodo, and you're pretty much locked in for your other two heroes, Merry and Pippin. So that's a shame, but we are going to be using Volka for this deck, and we will be running, where is he? Pippin in his tactics version, because this one is actually pretty powerful. 2 willpower, built-in readying, and 2 attack. Let's see here. We were working on leadership. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly enough. Okay, next up, lore. Lore has some decent allies. We are going to be needing. We are going to need. Where is he? Ah, here he is. Gaffer. He's a pretty good one. Gaffer Gamgee. We will be running 1 copy of Hanemarth just to scry. Hanemarth is quite powerful in a true solo situation. The deck does require 2 copies of Warden, but I am going to use the copy of Barlaman instead, just because Warden of Healing is quite a popular character to be running in your decks. So if we can delay using him, that would be best. In terms of attachments, we are going to be needing Fast Hitch, 2 copies, which leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Let's keep it thematic, so not Darren's Runes, but Drinking Song. That's going to be useful. Which leaves us with 1 card, and I would like another ally. I have 3 side quests, so actually a Halfling Bounder wouldn't be bad. Oh yeah, good call. I see Chad is also awake at this moment. Okay, I believe that's 10, so let's go for Spirit. Spirit. Let's see. Let's use 1 copy of Bilbo. I might run a pipe, but maybe not. Just 2 cost 2 willpower is pretty good. Let's see. yeah, we might end up making a pipe deck down the line. So I would like to preserve at least 2 other copies of Bilbo. Odo, pretty okay. I'm not going to be using Ancient Matham. And if you are hearing planes at the moment, it is because I live next to an airport. But it shouldn't bother us too much, I hope. Let's see. No. I think I want some threat reduction. Maybe not go that heavy on allies for this deck. Let's see here, what are our options? A bit thematic. I definitely will take 2 Tesla wheels for this deck, just because hobbits are quite vulnerable to treacheries. Let's see, what else do we get? Courage Awakened. No, that doesn't ready him. 11 seeds, yes. I will take 2 copies of 11 seeds. Now I noticed that I'm putting my spirit cards on top of my lore cards, so that's not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, what else do we get? Might end up using Free to Choose, but let's see if we have other options. Smoke and Think we'll save for a pipe deck. Fireside Song would be nice, but I'm not running any other songs, so probably won't end up doing much. Ancient Matham would be nice, it's also on the original deck, but I am probably going to be... actually, I'm going to do 1 Mithril shirt. Oh, calls for a double back, that's a good idea. Let's see. Ooh, actually, Horn of the Mark is a pretty decent card draw. It can go on Mary, and I should have. Yep, I have Mary as one of my heroes. This could work nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 more. Yeah, Thalion would be nice. Only problem is that I would have to sacrifice 1 of my neutral cards. So that doesn't solve the problem of missing 1 spirit card so far. But I suppose a Hobbit Pony will fill that slot. There we go. Exactly 50 cards. So let's leave this up. Okay, we have a wide variety of sleeves to choose from today. And since this is a deck of 4 spheres, I think I am going to go for white. Not because it's the first one on the list on screen, but mix all the colors together, you get white. So let's use that. And I believe we have just enough cards. It might be, maybe not for this color, but for other colors, that we end up with 1 extra sleeve, just because some of the sleeve packs were delivered with 51 sleeves instead of 50. So for this contract I will be making just a 50 card deck, because the contract requires it. But down the line we might end up making a 51 deck card, or 51 card decks, right? Deadpool. I also have a yours. I generally build my decks physically, because if I'm by myself solo, then I tend to work or I tend to play with my physical cards, just because these are the cards I actually paid for, so it would be a shame to not use them. I don't often put my decks up on RingsDB, but I will be able to have a list of deck lists down the line with the different decks I'm building. But if I were to convert everything that we are going to build tonight into deck lists on RingsDB, that's going to take quite a long while, and I won't have time for it tomorrow. So if I am going to do that, it will be a few weeks from now, but things may change in the meantime. We'll have to see. So for now, we are just going to be making the decks with physical cards, and I will be saving up the recording hopefully on Twitch so people can look back. I might provide timestamps, but I might not. I'll have to see. Coming to the end here. Let's see if we have enough sleeves. Yeah, we are going to have one extra sleeve. So this was one of the packages with 51 cards, so I will actually sleeve the contract in the same color. There we go. Deck number 1 is now finished. We were stored here, and I am going to be updating. Where is it? This one. See if we can move this. There we go. I'll have to keep this short, otherwise they will fill the entire. They will fill the entire screen. Okay. So our next suggestion was a Woodman deck using Haleth as Messenger of the King. Well, that's a pretty good idea. I like it. The benefit of the Woodman deck is that you can easily put in all the location attachments and you have half the deck filled. So this is one that we are probably not going to net deck. I'll actually see if there's one on RingsDB, but I don't think there is. Just because Haleth is quite new. Nope. This will be the first Haleth Messenger of the King deck. So we are going to do this Spirit Aragorn? Possible. I do actually prefer, well, Haldan is an obvious choice. And Haleth will be Messenger of the King. But I do prefer for my Woodman deck, I prefer, where is he? Here. Bard, Son of Brand. Just because he allows us to play any colored attachments. So this includes some leadership ones that go on attachments or go on locations, especially the Ranger provisions, which get you one resource on all your heroes. Aragorn is nice as well. Only problem is that he requires some some attachments to set up, and I might actually make a different deck with him that just puts out progress in all locations as fast as possible. So maybe pair him up with Glorfindel and something like the Drain for a Mountain Spirit or Lore Spirit deck. So we will save Aragorn. just to boost up his willpower in a different way. I also heard suggestions of combining him together with Galadriel and using Nenya to boost his willpower. So we can work around with that, but if we have to include both those heroes, then we lose the Woodman deck. So we'll save this for a later date, but we'll keep it in the back of our mind. I only have 2 heroes, but that's fine. That's all we need. Let's see. We are going to be needing Messenger of the King. Okay. Okay. We are going to need gather information, probably. Let's see, do we want Thalion for this deck? Maybe not, but let's do Treebeard as well. Just to have the Woodman play together with the wood. So we'll have 1 copy of Treebeard because he's quite popular in decks. Let's see, what else do we need from this binder? Thorngale won't do us any good. Magic Ring, no. I don't think we'll need that many. Yeah, actually. Necklace of Kirin will be nice. This can drag out more locations. Arkenstone won't be necessary. No. Okay. So we won't have that many neutral cards. That's okay. That leaves more room for... let's see, which ones do I need? So Bard can play any items of any sphere. So we could do Clarion Stone just to boost our willpower. Just do 1, because remember with Haleth we'll have more card draw in terms of attachments. So we can stock our deck with more of those, or more, yeah, no, more attachments. Signals, titles, songs. Ah, this one. Ranger Provisions. This is almost powerful enough to include Bard in any Woodman deck. But he has his uses, he has quite flexible stats. Mariner's Compass is also a great card. We'll have some scout allies which we can put this on. Then we can search for several locations that we otherwise no. Let's see, that's a signal. Those are items. We can play Cram, but I don't think we should stock our deck too much with leadership. Tactics I don't believe has any cards that we are going to need. We can always look for more items in here, but the only thing no, actually there isn't really anything I would add. Let's see, Sulian is an obvious choice to include in this deck. She is not only scout but also decent willpower, good elfstone target, and her ability is quite powerful. I am only going to run 1 copy just because we only have 1 spirit hero, which is why I'm also not including Northern Tracker in this deck. Ravanian Outrider. I'm going to put 2 copies. Well, we can look for... actually, Northern Lookouts. Those will be nice. These will be a great target for Mariner's Compass or the Map of Ravanian, which also attaches to scouts. So we'll put those in. Don't think we'll need anything else from the allies. Scouting party. Actually, is Haleth. Haleth is a scout. Let's put one copy of her here. You know what? Why not? We'll do one copy of Scouting Party just for the lol. 2 copies of Test of Will. No. Yeah, okay. 2 copies. Dwarven 2 copies. This will allow us to draw Ancient Method back to our hands, so we can get to play it again. But oh yeah, no, South Away is definitely that's inclusion. 3 copies. This will allow us to lower our threat. Standard Fight Reforged, no. Power in the Earth is possible, but I expect we will have plenty of other cards to put in our deck, so only if I were to make a 100 card deck I would consider Power in the Earth, but not for now. Let's see. Don't think we'll need that much more. I could include Warden of Honor, but Warden of Honor doesn't work that well with Woodman's Path, so I'm not going to include it. Heathlane is also a surprisingly good attachment for a Woodman Sylvan deck. Reforged? Yeah, that's possible. Sure. That hasn't been around yet, which is crazy, but okay. We should definitely stop with the spirit cards, but I am going to include Mithril Shirt because this also fetches us a location. Looking over the rest. Oh, Thor's Key is another one. Uh-oh. It's going to be quite heavy spirit. Okay. So I might end up including some Songs of Travel. Okay, let's see. We have Haleth already, so let's do Woodman Hunters, 2 copies, decent all-round target, also ranged. Since we are going for the Woodman style, I am going to put in some more. So Mirkwood Explorers. Now Master of the Forge could work, but since we have Haleth, I expect we'll have enough attachments to go around. So we'll leave him in here because I expect other decks will need it. Erebor Hammersmith, also possible, but I think the deck is going to be full enough. So let's throw in the attachments that we are going to need, and then we'll see if we have enough. I am going to include Forest Road Travelers though. Erin Garden Settler, also possible. We'll wait on this. I will put in 1 copy of Quick Beam and a copy of Ganbury Gun. Okay, what else do we need? Healing, yeah. We are going to need some healing because these attachments don't heal. Hidden Way would be nice, but maybe not. Let's see, what else do we get? Familiar Lands, that's possible, but I don't expect this deck will have much trouble with location lock. So we are going to include Woodman Lore, 3 copies, just because this is the only deck that will promptly feature it. We are going to skip ahead to the location attachments. We will be including, where are they? Map of Rovanion, it's going to be 2 copies, just because this can attach to our Dale Scouts. 1 copy of the Stone of Ellusterion. 3 copies of Woodman Path. 2 copies of Wood of Pursuit. 1 copy of Thor's Map. No, actually. I won't. 2 copies of Elfstone. 3 copies of Explorer's Almanac. 3 copies of Guarded Ceaselessly, because this one is pretty good with the Woodman lore event, just because most Woodmen are also scouts. Woodland Clearing. Okay, yeah, this deck is going to be pretty thick. I won't need that. I will have to include Haleth, but okay. I'm gonna do a quick count. Okay. So the good news is we have enough to fill our deck. The problem is that we have 15 cards extra. So we are going to be removing these 2. I'm going to remove this. Probably, let's see, I need 12 more cards. Probably do the Explorer's Almanac, because those don't actually work that well with Haldan. Skip on him. Okay, let's see how far we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 more. Lovely. 1 copy of Woodman lore. I'll be using this. Maybe not a shirt. Maybe saving 1 of those. 1 of those. 4. 2 more cards. Okay, this should be enough, and if it isn't, then we are going to, if we remove too many, we are going to add some more from this pile. So for color, since this is a Woodman deck, that makes me think green lore. So let's go for a light green. There we go. Let's sleeve this up, see if we have enough sleeves. And if we have extra, we have a sideboard of about 16 cards. So and if you guys want, you can start suggesting any other decks you would like to see. Maybe including one of the contracts. Because we currently have 5 viewers. Nice. Let's see if we can get this deck building on the road. I always find this a little bit therapeutic. Just being able to sleeve all these cards. Oh, by the way, if there are any patrons in chat right now, if you go to the Vision of the Palantir Discord, then you will find me in one of the voice channels. So come say hi if you want. Hey, would you look at that? We have 2 extra sleeves, which means we removed too many cards. So let's see which ones we want to add back in. I am thinking the Ancient Matham, maybe an ally. Just to have some more board presence. There we go. Where's Haleth? That's weird. There she is. Okay. So there we go. And that's our Woodman deck. So let's update the text. Current decks, we have let's move this over. Yeah, that should be readable. Okay. These cards will eventually have to go back into the deck, but if we are going to make that Spirit Aragorn deck, then we might end up using some of these. So it might be worth just putting those, just leaving those aside. Speaking of it, we can look into making such a deck. My only question is going to be what our other heroes are going to be, since we have him. I would like to try out, let's see if there's something online that we can copy. Only one deck posted with Aragorn so far. So we are going to have to improvise again, but that's fun. So Aragorn, what else do we want? We want more willpower on Aragorn. So let's do what I had in mind, which is Galadriel. We are going to use the fancy version. And then I would like a... let's see. I would like a lore hero. So maybe... let's see, how will this be for threat? Because if we run Lorfindel, 24... 33. That's decent. I'll have 2 pretty bonkers heroes, and Lorfindel will allow us to help clear locations. Yeah, let's try this. Okay. So we are not going to need this. We are going to need this one. We are not running any of the contracts this time, but we are going to be using. Let's see what we want. We want some copies of Gandalf to lower our threat. I will want. Let's see, our goal must be to make as much progress on a location as possible. So maybe I'll throw in a Thoron Gill for Aragorn. Don't need these. I will need Nenya. And I think I'm going to do 2 copies. Strider is not needed for this deck. Okay, that's it. Thorindir is a good option. True. Only problem is that I am considering using Glorfindel for Asphaleth, just to be able to clear more locations together with Aragorn's ability. But Thorindir would allow us to make a side quest deck. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, scared of the starting threat. That's true. It is quite high, although Galadriel will allow us to stabilize that threat. But the heroes aren't that equipped for combat. So if we replace Glorfindel with, let's see, Altar Glorfindel, we are, and we replace it with Thorindir here. That does save us 4 starting threat, which is nice. But if we are going to do that, then I am also going to change this up a little, because there's no reason to not run any side quests in that case. So Storm comes, gather info. With 2 Dúnedain heroes, I might also include a Ranger of Gondolin. And Thalion, of course. Let's do 2 copies. I don't believe I need anything else. I know there's an event somewhere that fetches side quests, but that might just be in leadership. Okay. So we will have access to spirit and lore. So I will put out lore first and see what we are going to need from here. I would like Ferial. Just 1 copy. Eastward Ranger is possible. +2 willpower when committed to a side quest, which is good with Thorindir. So, hell, let's consider it. 2 copies. We can always cut later. I'll want some extra card draw, so Cleo 1 will do just fine. I have some extra copies of him. Elladan and Elra here will be nice for combat, so let's do 1 copy of each. Since we will have side quests, we can use our remaining 2 halfling bounders. And we can scry ahead with Henemarth. See what's coming. Let's see here. Might just do Evening Star. Again, I must be careful not to put out too many lore cards in this deck, but yeah. Discard cards of the other deck won't be forgotten. I'll go through those later. Just looking at what we have available to us right now. Sylvan Allies, no. Oh, I would like to make a Sylvan deck soon, but that can wait. No. I will take Protector of Lorien, just because I have quite a few copies of Uniques in this deck, and this is a good way to boost Aragorn's willpower. Long Defeat, since we are running so many side quests, might as well throw in some of those. And the same goes for not leather boots. While we're here, let's put this in. Where is it? Here we are. Road Goes Everon. Oh, and Legacy Blades. Being a side quest after all. Okay, I am starting to fall back onto a ton of lore cards. Let's see here. We have... no. We will run with Mithril Shirt. Gun is actually a non-bow. It's a shame I can't run Calabrian Stone in this deck, but that's okay. 2 copies of those. Let's see, am I missing something? Dundane Pipe will be nice for Aragorn. Just 1 copy. And what else do we have? Stone of Elysterion is indeed a good idea. Try out some more locations. But I think that's going to be it. Let's look at the side quests. Sure. 1 copy of Scout Ahead. Spirit cards. We are going to need a few. I am going to need a Defender, so Jubire is going to come out. Oh, actually, I might just take this Elf Stone that I saw earlier. Since we are going to be clearing so many locations, it will be nice to get some allies out for cheap. Let's see. I am going to take out those 2 allies I put in earlier. These were Rangers. I think we want to focus on one thing here, and that's location control. 1 copy of Elra here. Right, Rohan is a side quest guy, has pretty decent stats, and since we have 2 of those, anything else that boosts willpower? No, but I will take Arwen. Just 1 copy. Now the Pathfinder can find us more locations, but I don't think that we are going to need him for this. Plus his 2 willpower often isn't worth it. Okay, let's flip through these. This is tempting. The Watchful Peace. Backtrack also pretty nice. Let's see, I want some stuff for Galadriel to do as well, so let's get 1 silver harp. Let's get 2 silver circlets, since both Aragorn and Galadriel can wield this, and Nenya can put Galadriel's silver circlet onto Aragorn. Light of Valinor is not required. Actually, I'm going to take a Unexpected Courage. 2 actually, just so that Thorindir and Aragorn are going to will have more actions. Star Brooch, possible, but I am going to go for Warden of Honor, 1 copy. Mirror, 1 copy. I'm not going to do Star Brooch just yet. It is tempting, I will admit. Rally the West, obvious. And double back. So let's see how many cards we have right now. I expect we'll have some wiggle room for the other cards. So in terms of colors, I expect we are going to do this one. Just in case we make a mono lore deck, we'll have the green sleeves available. Let's sleeve this up and see how many sleeves we have left over. We're already streaming for an hour. Time flies when deck building. Oh. I'm also quite tempted to just put in Outlands characters for more willpower, just to make sure that we actually clear side quests. But that's okay. Styrian. I was going to say that we could also throw in a scouting party, but Thorindir isn't a scout, and eventually his willpower will be quite high, so I'm not going to include that because I will be mostly questing with Thorindir. It's been a while actually since I've played the side quest deck, so I wonder how this will work. Evening Star will be nice with Aragorn, just to be able to place a ton of progress, so that if a 6 quest point location comes out, we'll be able to nuke it. And for those worried about all the single copies of cards, we'll have some card draw, and we'll have Galadriel with her mirror to take on to search her top 10 cards. Okay, coming up to the end. Might actually not need Storm Comes, looking at it. Oh, and I forgot a card that I definitely should include. Hang on. Storm Comes is not necessary, I don't think. I'll only need 1 copy of Thalion, 1 copy of Cleowine, but I am going to need the Ring of Power here for Aragorn, just because that gives him the lore resource icon, so we have some. There we are. And I will take 2 copies. This improves his, this allows him to also get the lore resource icon, and then with Thorindir we'll be able to give him, I don't know, leadership, just to have an extra ability on him to ready. Do a Gandalf, and let's see here. What else do we not need? Maybe not 3 copies of the Road Goes Everon. Now I am a bit worried about defenders in this deck, but this should be alright. Okay. We'll be putting this back in as we go. So that's another deck down. Let's update this. I believe this is the Aqua Deck, which is okay, we are going to reduce our font size a little bit. I'm going to remove these because we are probably not going to need these sleeves. Oh. Okay. Move this up. I hope this is still visible for everyone. Okay. We have been working quite a lot with leadership, or with lore and spirit, so I think we should actually look into maybe a tactics deck. Let's see what are our options with the contracts. Well, Burger's turn with Bilbo doesn't really work because Bilbo only targets enemies with attachments, and Burger's turn attaches to locations, so that's not gonna be possible. I'm looking at Grey Wanderer. Let's see if we have any good Grey Wanderer targets. Now this is interesting. I'll put it on screen. This satisfies my urge to build an Eagle deck as well. Oh. Which will be a mono tactics, more or less, Eagle deck. And chooses Renegast ally. Yeah, sure. Let's try this. Okay, I will put this on screen for me, and I will share my thing again. And if you guys ever want to see the deck that I'm building from RingsDB, just ask. I can easily switch back and forth. Okay, let's start with Grey Wanderer. And let's get Quahir on the table. Quahir is up here. Yep. It's quite funny how Quahir is the highest threat tactics hero, just being released recently. Okay, we are going to need some Istari. We will take 2 copies of Gandalf, and let's blow off the dust, because Radagast hasn't left my binder in a long time. But here we go, 3 copies. Why not? Let's see, who else do we need? We are going to need Woyodor. 2 copies. Woyodor is also quite fun. He's pretty decent to splash into any deck. I assume... Yes, we are going to need all 3 copies of Eagles of the North. But these don't have to be sleeved because they actually don't enter our deck. Let's put these mats like this. I am going to need Radagast Staff. 2 copies. Now the deck requires 3 copies of Resourceful. We only have 1 because the other 2 are in the Hobbit deck. So this is where we have to look into being able to make more money in a different way. But we will have to see how we are going to do this. Let's see. 1 copy of Strider. Oh, here, Magic Ring, that works. Magic Ring is limit 1 per deck, but it is not a restricted attachment, so you can still go on to Gwahir, and there's an extra way to ready him. So it's a decent alternative to, but it does raise our threat, which can be an issue, but we start at 13, so that should be okay. 1 copy of Strider. And I believe that's all we need from this. Actually, don't we need... Oh no. No. Okay, that's it. We are mostly going to need tactics cards. So let's grab the binder. And let's go through 1 copy of Landreval. Probably 3 copies of Descendant. Oh no, 2. 2 copies of Descent of Thorondor. 3 copies of Eagles of Mist Mountains. Oh, 3. Right, yeah. We will have Meneldor. 2 copies. Winged Guardian, 3 copies. Eagle Emissary, 2 copies. Oh. Let's put these in the right order. And let's do 3. Let's see, how are we doing on allies? I believe this is everything we are going to need. Now I would consider Giant Bear if we have more slots in our deck, but we are going to have to see. In terms of events, we will need Quahir's Depth, Flights of the Eagles. Eagles are coming. That's your standard load up. So we are going to need Quahir's Depth. 2 copies, but I might boost that to, actually I am going to boost that to 3, just because it's quite a great event. 3 copies of Eagles are coming. And Flight of the Eagles, there we are. I'm also going to run 3 copies. Okay. Terms of attachments, support of the Eagles, 2 copies. They can only go to the Tactics Heroes, but Gwahir is a Tactics Hero. But he cannot cannot select himself for this, which is a shame, because the attachment requires an ally. And since this is Gwahir, I am going to use 1 copy of Black Arrow, just to boost him up to 9. Okay, oh, and we need Born Aloft, 3 copies probably. There we go. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Since this is a Grey Wanderer deck, we are also allowed to play other cards, and the deck calls for 2 copies of Stand and Fight, which will be a nice way to bring back Eagles from the discard pile. From Leadership, we are going to take 3 copies of Timely Aid, since every single Grey Wanderer deck does that. Why not? 3 copies, boom. We're going to regret putting 3 copies in here, but we'll see. I think that's most of it. Let's see how we are doing. Since this is a monosphere deck, more or less, I am going to put the red sleeves on here. Usually I put the brown sleeves on because Radagast is usually in my Eagle deck. Or actually the hero version. Okay, see you, bye. I tend to use the brown sleeves because Radagast is the brown. But for this case, we don't have any guarantee that Radagast will eventually pop up, so we'll just run a true tactics deck, means red sleeves. I hope this will work. But at least we'll have some healing, which is nice. But usually in my Eagle decks I am able to play Quires Depth turn 1. Because I have both a unique Eagle and a unique Istari in play. This will be a fun alternative. If we have any sleeves left over, I will probably add in some more allies, because we took some 2 copies where we could have gone 3, so might add a 3rd Eagle Emissary, might add a 3rd Descendant. We'll have to see. But for now, it's back to regular sleeving. It's quite therapeutic. And now we come to our neutral cards. Let's see how many sleeves we have left over. I think we'll have a few, so we'll be able to get some more eagles into this deck. Oh yeah, we have 3 more. So let's get the 3rd Eagle Emissary, because why not? And I actually am going to take 2 copies of, where is it? Here it is. Boom, Mel's Flight. Well, usually not an ideal event. This is a free activation of Quire. And this makes 50. Or 50-ish. So we are going to do this, like this, and this. And that's deck number 4. So let's adjust this. Oh, that's funny that the abbreviation for Grey Wanderer is the first 2 letters in Quire's name. Okay. Do we have any suggestions for decks? In the meantime, while I'm waiting for suggestions, I'm going to put these back into their binders. And otherwise, if I'm not getting any feedback, we are going to make a maybe a Mona Spirit Burger's turn deck. That's always fun. Copy of Thalion. I think actually that I am going to start putting these into the deck box. There. Okay. All the way back. And then we have our lore binder. What else do we have left? We have one copy of Woodman Lore, which goes here. And we have some zero cost attachments. The Explorer's Almanac. The road goes ever on. And guard ceaselessly. Okay, so while doing that, we have had no suggestions, so that's fine. You guys can keep quiet. I'm just going to do what I do best, and that's making a Mono Spirit deck. Now for this Mono Spirit deck, I have a few ideas. First of all, I would like to run a Burger Turn deck, this one, which means that first of all we are going to need to find 14 attachments, but let's do that after we select our heroes. That's still possible. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see our spirit heroes. So there are two kind of decks that we can make. I actually think that I am going to go for a Círdan deck together with sure, let's do Lothariel. And let's see, I have willpower. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's make a Kaldara deck as well. Now this won't do as well in combat, but this will put out a ton of willpower. And we get to select our attachments. So we have 14 possible attachments for the contract. So let's go and select some. We have one, Narya, 2, Magic Ring, Readying Attachment, 3. Now, Palantir would be fun, but I don't think. No, we won't have the scrying, so I'd rather not. Sure, Arkenstone. Why not? Let's go to Spirit. Let's see what they have to offer. There. In terms of attachments, now we can only select an item or artifact. I will actually take Silver Harp because Círdan's ability will allow us to draw 2 cards. Silver Circlet, pretty good. Mithril Shirt, why not? Okay. How deep in are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7 cards isn't too bad. Let's take a look what we get from here. I would like a Calabrian Stone. That's always nice to get. Ancestral Armor. That can go on noble characters, and these 2 are noble. Plus, I believe Prince Imriel is as well. He should be at least. I don't think there's anything else in here that we are going to need. But Lord will have some useful item or artifacts. Burning Brand would be nice, but we cannot use that. Lambus is a bit of a waste, I think. Stone of Velosterion. Sure. And I would also quite like Glamdring. Well, these 2 heroes aren't that big of, aren't that good at attacking. I will have Prince Imriel in this deck, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3 more. 3 more. Let's see. Is there anything else in here that I want? Why not? Lambus extra ready and healing. Maybe something in tactics. Okay, we need items. Actually not quite sure if there's anything too useful in here. Oh, actually. Red Arrow for Lothariel. Why not? If we ever do get to Valor. Durance Axe. Sure. Sting we cannot use, so let's not do that. This we cannot use either. I will take the Elven Spear actually, just to have a discard option for Círdan. So that's our 14 attachments for Birder's turn. A little bit different than I'm used to, but hopefully this will work. Now the downside to Burglar's Turn is that we are not able to run any conditions or mounts or skills or stuff like that. So in our example, Círdan will not be able to use Light of Valinor, which means that we either get to use his willpower or we get to use his ability with Narya. But as long as we don't draw Narya, hopefully we do draw it quite early. But if we don't, then yeah, I mean, might as well exhaust him. He is quite useful in his attack and defense. Oh, did I overshoot? I believe I overshot by 1. So let's get rid of this. Because the necklace will give us more willpower and more resources. There we go. Okay. So we have the bulk of the deck. Well, we have everything for the contract ready. Now all we need is allies and events. We are going to take quite a lot. So we are going to run 1 copy of Glorvindel, probably 2 copies of Jubire, 1 copy of Elfhelm, 3 copies of Northern Tracker, not only for its effect but also for its stats. It's quite decent for Narya. Erebor Guard is pretty okay. It allows us to discard more cards from our deck. Let's put 3 copies in. Demerald is a nice target for LOTR. Let's put 1 in. Prince Imrahil, I will take all 3 copies. I will take your entire stock. Same for Predator Shipwright. Emery, 2 copies. She is great to get in your opening hand. And I'm looking now, seeing now that the binder isn't completely in view, but hopefully it's... Let's see, maybe I can move this back just a little bit. I hope that's okay. Where was I? Oh yeah. Allies. So Ravanian Outrider. Derafin is decent, so let's put in 1 copy. Arwen, that's worth 2. Let's see, I do need to take in consideration that LOTR can only target characters with her own trait, so it's probably not worth running Rohan characters just yet. Right, now the Velflans, of course. That's 3 copies. Dunedain Pathfinder is a must include for this deck, just because more locations means more cards for the contract. Elven Jeweler is also great, since she can be free at the cost of 2 cards discard from your hand. So if you happen to draw into many allies, you can easily discard. 2 copies of Galadriel's Greeting. All copies of Elwing's Flight, because running questing characters will be useful. Let's see, I could do Flight to the Sea, but I don't think that will be too useful. We'll put in 3 copies, not 2 copies of Fest of Will. I'll also do 2 copies of Dwarven Tomb, just to recur some spirit cards. Will of the West is probably not, yeah, okay, maybe 1 copy. 1, I said, yeah. Let's see, Elven Light, more card draw. I don't really have reliable discard options, so I might save this for an Arwen deck. later on. I don't have Dune characters, so that's not needed. These two are ruled out. Strength of Will, I will take 2 copies. This cleared locations quite quickly. Yeah, I mean, Elrond's Council, more willpower and lower threat. That's basically a no-brainer. I don't often use 3 copies, but who knows. I will take Stand and Fight, 3 copies if possible. And I cannot run any attachments, so let's see how we are doing with our cards. Might take up some more allies, but we'll see. Let me move this out of the way so you guys can actually see the sleeving process. There we go. Yeah, the thing is, I don't have my monitor in front of me, so I'm only basically seeing what you guys are seeing. But my monitor is 90 degrees to the left of me, so I have to tilt my head if I want to look at chat. But chat has been pretty quiet for a while, so I'm just doing my thing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. There are still a couple of you, so I'm not just talking to myself. Hey, Earth Guy, we are currently, I am building Monosphere deck right now, but it's also running a contract. So, I would say step 4, with the first 3 steps taking place yesterday. So we are currently building a deck with the Burglar's Turn Caldara deck, with a bit of help from Noldor. So I am looking forward to seeing this deck in action at some point. Probably not today, since we are still on our, what is this, our 5th deck. So we are not even halfway done, and we have been streaming for quite a while. But yeah, we are currently working on a Mono Spirit contract deck. And I'm just looking now if I have enough cards selected. But I hope you're having a good time. If we don't end up having enough cards, I might have to find some more allies. If we don't have enough sleeves, then I will have to start cutting some allies. But hopefully, by the looks of things, we might just make it. Yeah, I like Burglar's Turn. Wow, did I really? Okay, I have just enough. This rarely happens, but okay. Burglar's Turn I don't build very often. If I build it, it's with Caldara, just because this allows your deck to include more allies to draw and then to discard. So I will have to stream on later. You can look at the cards we've selected. And Daniel, you're trying to solo escape from Dol Guldur. Yeah, well, I don't think there's any other way it can go than horrible. But that's another deck gone. So if you guys have any suggestions on what deck to build next, let me know. I will adjust the text in the meantime and take a drink. There we go. Let's see, what contracts do we have left actually? We currently have left Fellowship, 3 Hunters, and Council of the Wise. So I'm actually thinking maybe we can do a Fellowship, a Noldor Fellowship. Let's see if there's one online. Let's see if there's one with Ireland. Okay, so I have found a decent deck. I'll share it with you guys. Cool. So for those that join in, I am net decking some of the decks, and whatever I cannot find, I'm using. I'm just building them myself. And even when net decking, I tend to include some cards of my own. But this does look interesting. We'll be able to have a Noldor Fellowship. I am worried a little bit about threat, since we are not going to be able to include all of the cards. Just because some of the cards, like 3 copies of Test of Will, I don't have 3 copies anymore. Some of them are in the decks you see before you. But the rest should be obtainable. Yeah, I think so. So if you guys don't mind, I will put this on my screen and I'll stream the table again. If you guys want to see this deck, either look it up or let me know and I'll put it up on screen again. Oop. Okay, so we are going to take the Fellowship Contract. It's been a while actually since I've played the Feathership Contract. Those that saw yesterday's stream saw that this was the only contract that I actually didn't use in my previous deck building spots. We are going to need the following heroes. We are going to need Denethor. Here we go. We will be using Alt Art Denethor. We are going to need Arwen. Again, Alt Art. And we are going to need Galdor. Yes. Also a hero I don't run very often. But it's fun. Okay, we are going to need a couple of neutral cards. Do I need... No, I don't need any side quests, so that's good. We are going to take all 3 copies of Overhill, Underhill, Gandalf. We're going to take 2 copies of Treebeard. And I believe that's all of the cards they mention, but I am also going to include an Arkenstone, just because the Arkenstone boosts willpower on all unique characters, and since you are playing Fellowship, all of your characters are unique, so you're winning anyway. Let's see, this deck calls for 2 copies of Steward. I might not want to do that. Yeah, we'll see. That's it. We are going to go for our leadership binder. There we go. And from our leadership binder, we are only going to take, let's see, Steward of Gondor. Oh, actually, I have some extra copies of Steward, so. A 3 Hunters deck with Nasia. That's interesting. I mean, it's possible. Shouldn't be too difficult. Just load her up with attachments and get her going. We can look into that after we finish this. We'll keep it in mind. That would satisfy our 3 Hunters deck, which means we only have Council of the Wise left, and if it's okay with you guys, I would like to try Council of the Wise Sylvan deck. That was all of the leadership cards. I am going to need 3 copies of To the Sea. And 2 copies of Blood of Numenor. Okay, now we get to add some allies. We are going to take 2 copies of Glorfindel. Oh, well, we already have used up all of our copies of Jubire. That's not gonna fly, but we'll have some replacements for him, I'm sure. Copy of Elfhelm. He's pretty okay. Hama might not be a thematic win, but he is quite a powerful defender. Let's see. 2 copies of Elra here. Anyone else? Nope. No. Okay, so events. We are going to need some events. 1 copy of Lords of the Eldar. 2 copies of Will of the West. I'll take this time to use my final copies of Test of Will. Oh, yeah, of course. This is why I said my Elven Knights during the last deck, just to be able to play it now. Okay. And let's see if there's anything else we would like to use. Again, we don't have a Dundane. That's not going to work. We only have nobles. Okay, let's go to the lore cards. We are also going to need a couple of lore cards. I assume, yeah, 3 copies of Gildor. To those wondering why I have 5 copies of Gildor, that's because one of a local player gave me some extra copies of some staples from the first cycle. So that helps out greatly. Let's see, 2 copies of Aladan. Right. Just on the next page, here we are. 2 copies of Eladin, 1 copy of Yorith. Yorith in a Fellowship deck is also quite powerful. Love it. Let's see, is there anyone else I would like? Animarth is nice to get up to 3 characters, or 9 characters. Yep, that's it. The only thing they advise is Evening Star, but I already have that in a different deck. So I will instead run Lambas, since I am assuming Denethor will do most of the defenses. And this will allow him to ready up some more. Is there anything else I would like? Maybe Protector Florian, just to be able to boost defense and boost willpower. I think that's enough. Let's see how far this gets us. And if we have to include more cards, we'll, which we probably will, but oh well. Let's see. I will take the blue deck, since I don't think we'll make that many more spirit decks. I mean, we already made a mono spirit deck, so that's most of the spirit staples out. So I believe we will be able to make 1 deck per contract today, which is nice. It satisfies the first step of our deck building process. Yeah. Then we can see if we can manage to make some more decks, maybe a mono lore deck, maybe bring in some Ents, maybe a Treebeard deck. Since I believe I used all of his allied copies already, so might as well run the hero. We are definitely going to have some sleeves left over, but that's okay. We have 3 sleeves left over, so I will definitely take 1 double back, just to be able to lower threat, since we'll be playing with Overhill and Underhill Gandalf. So that. And actually, I think this might be a little bit unorthodox, but where is he? Yeah. Leadership Mary is actually quite useful in a Feathership deck, just because after he enters play, each unique ally you control gains +1 willpower. And since all of the cards in your deck are unique, or all of your allies at least, you'll be able to get quite a decent willpower boost with him. And that's it. This gets us up to 50. With contract and the heroes. Nice. Alright. Okay, that's our 6th deck. We're starting to get somewhere, but of course the first few decks are the easiest. Let's see if I can get a Nasia deck going. Let's see if there are any online. You've lost? Too bad. How far did you get? I mean, if you lose during setup, it's not too bad, but... Only the first stage. Oh, you are running the one ring. That's dangerous, playing one ring towards Dolgalure. Okay, I found this deck. Let me pull up this. There we are. So this is again mono tactics, like our Eagle deck, but this will just have all of the attachments, more or less. But that's good because we still have all of these back in reserve. So we will probably be able to make a monosphere deck with this. Baragon's always nice with 3 hunters, just because the extra healing. And Eowyn, yeah, pretty decent. There are a couple of attachments for her. So let's start with this. See how that takes us. Let's do this again. I'll put up the deck on my screen. We are going to need this deck, or this binder, and this binder. Let's see, let's take Varagons. We'll have Eowyn and Nasia. Okay. And we'll have the 3 hunters contract. And Storm comes is utterly useless. We don't need any allies. Do we need any? Yeah, of course. We are going to need Open the Armory. Because that's just 3 cards in a 3 hunter stack. And well, it would be as well, but unfortunately none of them are things. Dwarves, right. It's getting late, can you tell? Let's see. Magic ring, no. I don't really think there's anything here that is that useful. Oh, okay. We are just going to do tactics cards. And I am going to start with... well, the deck requires for gather information, but I am actually going to take Keep Watch. Just to be able to lower the attack strength of enemies. So let's go to events. Oh, I am there. And we are... Okay. We are going to select behind strong walls. There we go. We'll have faint. If I can find it, here we are. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I actually have more copies of faint than I thought. So that's nice. Faint foe hammer. Because with so many restricted attachments, there are bound to be some weapons. So the extra card draw is nice. It's also often a auto include. And we are going to need Stern and Steel to cancel some shadow cards. I could put in Goblin Cleaver for some direct damage, but I'll wait. The only thing they request is Gondorian Discipline. Sure, I don't expect to use that too much in other decks. Okay, in terms of toys, we have the Spirit Citadel. We are definitely going to take Firefoot on Nasia for +1 attack and restrict it and spill over the damage. Raven Winged Helm might not be a restricted attachment, but it's still amazing on Baragond. Since I usually make these decks mono or through solo, I am not going to actually run Tireless Thoroughbred, although it would be a nice inclusion for this deck to put on Nasia, just to be able to use her +2 attack and +2 defense across the board. So if you guys are going to copy this deck, maybe add that mount, because it's also restricted, so it's only 1 cost. Let's see, what else do we need? We need quite a lot. Jeez, okay. No. Book of Eldacar. Two copies. Citadel Plate. 2 copies. Nice thing with Citadel Plate and Baragond in this with the contract, that it only costs 1 to boost your hit points by 4, which is ridiculous. Gondorian Shield. Yep, 3 copies. Rohan Warhorse. That's an obvious inclusion. Mighty Prowess. It's not on the list, but I'll include it anyway. Just to be able to deal more damage. Captain of Gondor, 1 copy. Let's see, about 1 copy. Golden Shield will be useful on Eowyn. Bow of Hue. Three copies might be a bit excessive, but who knows. They can go on... Oh no, they can't go on Eowyn. But at least they can go on Nasia. I'll also add the Golden Belt to this deck, because Golden Belt in the 300 deck is always a good idea. Now it lists Raiment of War, but I'm actually not going to do that. The War Axe, yep, it's an obvious one. Let's see, do we need a warrior sword? No. I actually think we're quite close. So let's look and see what we have. Might not be enough, but we'll see. I will take the orange deck for this. And we'll sleeve up and see how many cards we end up missing or having extras of. If we have extras, we can always cut down on the attachments a bit. If we have too many, I might include some more events, because I think well, actually I think we definitely have enough attachments for this deck. So how are you guys doing? We are currently working on our 7th deck, so we've been here a while. Hope you either are having a good day or have had a good day. My day has been pretty fun. Posting another article and ordering Escape from Khazad-dûm, which was nice. Other than that, haven't done too much. Couldn't play the game because all of my cards were in the binders. I suppose I could have played on Octagon, but if it's just me, then I prefer to play with physical cards, because again, I paid for these cards, so might as well put them to good use. So after this, I do think we can do a Council of the Wise deck, which is the only contract left that we haven't used. And I would like to make a Sylvan deck, since again that's an archetype that we haven't used so far. So that could get us to our, I believe, 8th deck. Okay, we are definitely missing a couple of cards. So we have some space for some extra events. Let's see. If your hero with the 1 ring is selected, I don't believe you immediately lose, because the hero is still in play. But I might be wrong on that. I don't think so, but maybe double check with someone. Noble and Ranger. No. I'm going to do Goblin Cleaver. 3 copies. Just because the extra direct damage will be useful in combination with the Spirit Citadel. Then I have 2 spots left. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do Blade of Gondolin. Blade of Gondolin is nice for these monotactics decks, just because killing enemies with this delays progress, and this deck won't have a lot of willpower right away. So making extra progress is always nice to do during the combat phase, unless you're screwing over the Woodman Deck, but that's their loss. Okay. I believe an update to the text is in order. Let's see. Current decks, we have orange. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decks, and I believe we are missing one of them. Oh, yeah, the Fellowship LOTR Deck needs to be updated still. 2. There we go. Okay, so one more contract left to go, and it's the one that's the toughest to build with. I like the contract, but it's difficult to build with since you can only include one copy of each card. Then when you take it apart or have to take a screenshot or something, it's horrible. Okay, and we are going to build a Sylvan deck with this because we haven't already, and Sylvans have a lot of events and a lot of allies that we can use for this. I will put in one copy of Gandalf. One copy of Defender. Sure, one copy of Galadriel. One copy of Host of Galadriel. Good Harvest is a good one for this contract. Just because it's a free event, so you get to trigger the contract with it. We'll be using, oh, I suppose I should select heroes. I am going to take Celeborn. I will take Thranduil. And I am going to take Galadriel. Here we are. Okay. I don't think we need anything else from the neutral binder. So we'll take a leadership one. Let's see what we can get from here. Maybe just skip Dol Guldur and move on to a different quest. Trust me, you'll have more fun. Let's see, one copy of Orphan, and usually I don't run Silver Archer because he's way too overpriced, but he's a Sylvan ally, so might as well include him since we are going to run low on allies anyway. Having just one copy of each. One copy of Nath Guide. One copy of Greenwood Archer. Okay. Moving on to the events, we are going to take a sneak attack. I wish I could do more of those. Sacrifice. Some Sylvans are going to die at some point. Maybe Campfire Tales. Campfire Tales, yeah, actually. That's either one cost to draw 2 cards, one cost to draw a card and lower your threat, or 0 cost to draw a card. So that's always worth it. We are not idle, same situation. Only here it can be free for, well, whatever. Faint Voices. Captain's Wisdom. Again, pretty good card since it can get you 3 resources. Elf Guide. I actually will take Ancestral Armor for the Friend Wheel. Graven Stone for someone. Steward. I haven't used too many stewards yet. The Armored Tester for Friend Wheel. Lorien. Elven King. And that's probably going to be it. Maybe no, I think, yeah, okay, maybe a Send for 8 will be nice. Okay, moving on. Spirit. We'll have plenty of spirit cards. Lorien Guide, which again is quite pricey, but in a true Sylvan deck it's doable. We'll have Galadriel's Handmaiden. Wooden Courier. Sylvan Refugee. Galadriel Weaver. Weaver is actually pretty important in this deck. It's good to get out early. Weaver will allow you to put events back on the top of your deck, or shuffle back into the deck actually. I will do a Will of the West, because whatever is in your discard pile you will want to recycle at some point. Hasty Stroke. Dwarf 2. Let's see, our Children of the Sea. That's a card you otherwise wouldn't include in Sylvan deck, but it's pretty useful actually. Extra willpower and the trigger of 1 Fury Fence. Quickness Sight. Stand and fight, play an ally at discount price or draw cards. Silver Harp, Courage. I might do a Long Knife. Long Knife for Celeborn. And also Light of Valinor for Celeborn. Actually, did I not have any Light of Valinors in this Noldor deck? Huh. That's curious. Your E-Flame. Just explore location immediately. I think that's it for spirits. But thanks to Nenya and Threnwil, we also have access to the other spheres. So we can select some allies. Haldir is a nice one to get with what's it called? Tree People. Sylvan Tracker, get some healing. I am not going to include Daughter of Nimrodel because I don't think that will be necessary. We'll take a Minstrel. I'll also take a Clathram Healer. Hanemarth. He's also Sylvan. Amazing. I will actually take Darren's Runes for this, and probably Deep Knowledge. Tree People. And actually, I'll also take Heat a dream just to be able to find single copies in my deck pretty quickly. Same goes for Drinking Song. I don't think we'll need that many attachments from lore. No, not really. Okay, then I would like to look at the tactics cards and just the tactics allies. Take out some big shots like Legolas, Rumil, and the two generic ones, so Marksman Florian and the Hobbit Archer. I think that should be enough. I think. Maybe actually looking at it might be too many. We might have to do get rid of a few cards. We use the Raspberry deck. We'll see how far we get. So now that we have done all of the contracts, we can move over to the next one, traded decks, and I would maybe suggest we do a Monosphere trade deck. The trade I'm thinking of is Gondor, so a mono leadership Gondor deck, if that's okay with you guys. If not, you can leave your suggestions while I'm sleeving up. I will put this aside in case we end up not needing or having too many cards. Actually, the same goes for Mirkwood Longknife. That's cards that are nice to have, but not really necessary. How long have we been streaming? 2.5 hours. Okay. That's not bad considering we are on our 8th deck. Yeah, not bad. How many people are we streaming for? We have 5 people in chat. Nice. That's about the same number of people we had yesterday. Consistently, at least. That's fun about this streaming. You get a stream report at the end just to see what your statistics are. That's fun. There are also Twitch achievements for getting a ton of people talking at the same time. A lot of people listening in. So yeah, the Gondor deck would probably be Denethor and maybe both of his sons. Maybe just Boromir and someone else. Just because Faramir is nice to have in this ally version. And we already have had our Messenger of the King. Okay, we are going to need to discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Let's not do Willidor. Let's see what else we can scrap. I will probably get rid of Silverlord Archer, to be honest. And get rid of the Lorien Guide, since they are a bit overpriced in my opinion. No, I would much rather have Nenya and Good Harvest. What else can we get rid of? Campfire Tales probably. While it's good, it's not that good. Actually, yeah, maybe Deep Knowledge. I'll have sufficient card draw for Faramir. Well, he sees more play in his allied version, even outside Gondor decks, so. But I could include him, that's fine. He's nice to be able to ready allies, and there are a couple of Gondor allies that you would definitely want to ready, like the Forecast, Guard of not Guard of Citadel. I forget his name, but the Forecast guy, he's good. Actually, I'd much rather not have the Defender of the Nath. So we could do a Sons of Denethor deck. That's fine. Okay. Council of the Wise. Get these going. I definitely should be sleeving up my Galadriel deck, but that's okay. Then we have lime green. We have regular green. The binder is looking fuller already. We have this one. And we have this one. We'll put this to the side. So let's update the current text list. And we will have for Town Raspberry, we have Council of the Wise, Sylvan. Nice. That's true. It's a thematic win, if you want to call it a win. Faramir would probably say otherwise. Let's see if we have something on Rings DB that we can copy. Denethor. Or what we could also do is skip Denethor and go for Boromir, Faramir, plus, I don't know, Imrahil. And run Denethor's allied version. I don't recommend it, but it's possible. Let's see. I would like a more up-to-date version. Okay, the disadvantage of deck building at this moment is going to be that we have spent a couple of cards already. So we are no longer able to play Time the 8th, for instance, since it's all gone into the Grey Wanderer deck. Same goes for Very Good Tale, which has been included in 3 times in the Fellowship deck. So we are going to have to get creative. That's possible. We still have 5 binders full of cards, so let me just put these back. By the way, this will probably be the deck that we are going to use. And we can throw in some other cards to make up for the cards we don't have anymore. Throw in some extra copies or see if there are more cards that have come out in the meantime. Since this is a mono leadership deck, we can probably fit in the 2, the Valiant Sword and Shining Shield, maybe. Since all of our heroes will be noble. More cards. Okie dokie, we are going to switch back to this and this. Okay. A Mono Lord Ranger deck. I mean, we could make a Mono Lord Trap deck with a ton of Rangers. Because just Rangers is probably not enough. If we throw in some traps, then yeah, maybe. So we have Faramir, we have Boromir, and we have Denethor. There we go. Okay, yeah. Just so we are on the same page. Yeah, that's probably possible. We haven't touched traps that much. And we still have the Mono Lord color available. Not that that is a deal breaker, but just so I can recognize the... hang on, did I? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, let's see. Mono leadership. We are going to need, well, only leadership cards except for oh yeah, right. The Envoy of Galadriel. Makes sense. And I will actually throw in a copy of Gandalf as well. Just to have some variety. Plus I have way too many Gandalfs. Let's see, is there anything else that we could use that we might need? Actually, let's throw in a Thorongil for Boromir. Or maybe Faramir or Denethor. Just because they all have hero versions that are quite decent. Boromir can ready. Faramir will have extra attack. I don't think I need anything else. Nope. Okay. I won't need Thorongil for the sphere match, obviously, since we are probably only going to include leadership cards. But it will be nice to have the option of their second ability. We are... Oh, okay. We are going to need Aristor. 2 copies. Two copies of Aristor. Okay. Let's see. Knight of White Tower. That's the one I meant. 3. Unborn. Let's put in 1 copy. Ingold, 1 copy. Veteran of Osgiliath, 3 copies, because this is probably going to be a Valor deck. Guard of the Citadel, probably not, even though it's listed. I prefer Pelargir Ship Captain because it actually has an ability. Herald of Honorian might get us our allies out quickly, more quickly. Soldier of Gondor, 3 copies. On board the Fearless, 2. Squire of the Citadel, 3 copies. Errant Rider, 2. Okay, in terms of events, we don't really have that many listed, so I will put in 2 for Gondors. I might might actually put in 1 lead drives then. Just because I expect we will hit the 40 threat at some point. Strength of arms, great for the army of allies. Sneak attack, I might put in some more copies of Gandalf. What is it they are listing? Nothing else. So I don't think there are any other useful things except the cards that give us money, but that's fine. Yeah, we want to prioritize getting some decent attachments. Okay, we are going to need Steward of Gondor. Are we going to go all out? I think we are. I will take a Calabrian Stone. Visionary Leadership. Yep, 3 copies. Armored Destroyer? No. But I will put in 1 anyway for Denethor, just to have a raiding ability. They are listing 3 Dunedain warnings, but I will actually change that to the shield. And the sword I will change to the Valiant Sword. Just because those are older version. This is an older deck. But 2 copies of each should be enough. There we go. What else am I missing? Oh, Tome of Tanator. 2 copies. Not quite sure what for. Roll of the Steward. Let's do 1 copy. And since I don't have any healing, I will throw in Dunedain Remedies. Just because these heroes tend to, well, this deck will have plenty of resources to pay for it. And a Staff of, no, not a Staff of Leatherthrone. That's only for low threat decks. So let's see if this feels like 50 cards. So let's see if this fits. So we're making good progress. We are 2 hours and a bit, well, 2 hours 43 minutes in. 2 hours and 40 minutes probably, because of introduction and stuff. But we'll have some decks left over to do. We also still have a Rohan deck that we can make. We'll have that Ranger Trap deck. And from there, who knows? If someone has a fun One Ring deck they want to recommend that we can still build at this point, be sure to let me know. Will I be building a 5 Dwarfs deck? Well, I already used the contract, the Bond of Friendship contract for Hobbits. So I don't have the contract again for, well, actually I would have, because I have the wooden versions that I made for the swag. There are quite a lot of Bond of Friendship decks with that, so I could use that. But I found that the 5 Dwarf Fellowship or 5 Dwarf Bond of Friendship deck starts off with quite a lot of threat because the dwarf heroes are quite expensive. But I will be able to make a Dwarf Swarm deck since that's an archetype that we haven't used yet. Okay, yeah, Dwarf Swarm. I have used a very good till already for my Feathership deck, so I won't be able to use that, otherwise I believe some copies would have gone into this Gondor deck as well, but I cannot use it for this. That's why I'm using other acceleration cards like Herald of Anorian. So we'll have to improvise something, which means that we will probably... we can make a Dwarf Deck, that's fine. And we still have the Brown Deck, and that's sometimes used for dwarves, so we can use that. I'm actually not going to include Ingold because I'm noticing that I'm running out of cards. Or running out of sleeves is better. I've included a bit too much. Yikes, okay. This is more than I wanted. So let's remove some stuff. We need to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards, and I would like to remove more. So let's go through. We'll remove 1 copy of Airstorm, just because he is unique. Maybe 1 copy of Knight of White Tower, quite expensive. 1 copy of Herald of Anorian. Have I only gotten... oh no. 1 copy of Angbor. Don't think I'll need the Errant Riders, to be quite honest. Then Thor can distribute his resources anyway. Need Tribesmen is not necessary. We have 3 copies of Strength of Arms. I'll keep 1 Steward of Gondor in reserve for the Dwarf Deck in that case. I don't see the use for Tome. Okay. So let's de-sleeve this. Do you have any specific dwarf form in mind that you would like to see? I would like to maybe use Dane. Then I'll have to see if I do either Leadership or Spirit Dane, and then use Thorongil to give them the other text box. I have 1 card left. I am going to use this for another copy of Gandalf, just because I'm using 3 copies of Sneak Attack in this deck. And I have plenty of Gandalfs left, for some bizarre reason. Okay. And this, so we can put this back into the box. I'll take out these sleeves and put in the Galadriel deck. Okay. Let's do the current decks. We have purple. There we go. Boop. Right, so we still have enough sleeves for 4 decks, and I even have some extra sleeves packed away in case we need it. So we can still go on for a little bit. So yeah, a mono lore trap deck was recommended, so we'll try that. See if we can find that. That's going to be a demo deck for sure. I would actually like to use the Great Hunt, so let's see if we can get a deck with that as well. That will also put us to mono leadership or mono lore. Let's see. So I found this deck, this one. That's probably fine. We will have to remove cards like Furiel and such, since we no longer have them. Resourceful, another example. But it's nice to start at 17th threat. We'll be able to draw quite a lot of cards. We'll have quite a few events to play as well. So let's try this, unless you guys have any other suggestions, but it sounds like a plan to me. It's fun to play the Smeagol deck as well. I haven't used him too much. And I won't be needing this for now. Or these sleeves, here we are. On our lore, we are going to need our hero binder. And we are going to take out Damrod. Let's see. Where are you? Here you are. Alt Art Damrod. We'll have Alt Art Mirlon. And we will have Smeagol. And include both copies of Stinker. And what I actually will do, if they haven't done it already, nope, is that I will include Out of the Wild to try and find Stinker and remove it from the encounter deck. Since we do start in Secrecy, we might be able to play it for free. And to ensure that we stay in Secrecy, I am actually going to include more Gandalf. Because I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Gandalfs. So let's take 2. Door shut Stinker, I do believe is possible, but if you don't hit it or you don't get out of the wild first, then Doors Closed will stay in your hand. So it's possible. You would cancel the entire thing. Let's see. I don't think we'll need anything else from here. Maybe I'll take Williador, just because Lore doesn't do combat that well. What do I say? I wanted to include something. Oh, yeah. That called for Sword Thane for some reason. No idea why. We'll see. Okay. So, Mono Lore. What do we need? Actually, Faramir wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's bring out 1 copy of Faramir. Unborn is a definitely must. We need 2 copies of him. Haleth is actually good as well, since she can find us more attachments when questing successfully. So that's an extra copy of Master of Forge. Let's see, we'll have 1 copy of Cleo Wine. We are going to take, why only 1 copy of all of these cards? Oh well. 1 copy of Warren of Healing, 1 copy of Master of the Forge, 1 copy of Gondorigan, probably Mablung as well, yep. All the standard Lord allies, Quick Beam, 3 copies of MNR and Ranger, probably just to make room for more attachments. Guardian, no. Gaffer Gamgee. That's actually not a bad call, since you start at such a low threat, Gaffer will be able to cancel attacks while you trap the enemy. Let's see, is there anything else we will need? Don't think so. So it's not a true Ranger deck, but it will have traps and Ranger shenanigans, I hope. Okay. Moving on to the events. I will take at least 2 copies of Great Hunt. All copies of Out of the Wild. Oh, right. They have a smart trick in here to play bartering. Let's make it 3 copies. We want Mithrandir's advice. Since we have a Mono Lore deck, why not draw more cards? Force Patrol? No. But we will have Interrogation. Interrogation will also allow us to discard Stinker if we see it. Right, 2 copies of the Hidden Way. Hidden Way is also a pretty nice card. I want to include it with the 2 location control decks we've built so far, but we couldn't do it. Let's see, Scroll of Isildur. 3 copies. For Snare, probably also 3 copies. So that's the basic combo. You barter Scroll of Isildur back to play for Snare for free. Ranger Spikes, I would do 3 copies of. Poison Stakes, maybe just 1. Don't really like Ambush. I prefer the Pit, but let's keep it at 1 copy. Now the Ranger Bow is quite good, so I'll actually take those 3 times. Let's see, Entangling Nets, yes. Also take Dodgy Ranger, just so I'll be able to play Ranger Bow on Merland. 1 copy of Glamdring shouldn't be too difficult to play. Since we have Mono Lore, we'll be able to play Leather Boots. And we have come to the end. Okay, let's see how far this gets us. I would love to add more threat reduction, but Lord doesn't have that much threat reduction. Yeah, that's probably fine. Otherwise, there are plenty of other cards we can add. Or if you guys feel like I missed something, let me know. I think I got most of it. I can always add more ends in case we need some combat. Because I haven't really touched ends aside from Treebeard and Quick Beam. Like most people. So if you guys have any preferred Rohan setups, we can do that one next. we use the yellow deck. Let's see if we can build a functional Rohan deck with cards we have left. I believe it shouldn't be that difficult. We haven't touched Rohan too much. Plus this will also mean, I believe, that we have at least one monosphere deck for all spheres. So that satisfies one of the steps I laid out earlier. So we are making good progress towards the 12+ decks. Uh-oh, we are going to have too many cards. Meaning that we are going to skip a few cards here just to be able to include the ones that we actually need into the deck. That's not too bad, just 3 cards. Let's see here. What do we not need desperately? Honestly, I think 4 scrolls is a bit too much. I'll at least take Gandalf. But maybe just leave it at that. Two copies of Stinker, Gollum, Mirland, Damrod. So we start, actually this deck starts at 17 threat. That's not too bad for tri-hero deck. That's not Hobbits. Not anymore. Deck box is also starting to get pretty full. Okay, I have seen no suggestions for Rohan deck yet, so let's just see what the top rated Rohan deck is with Theoden. Now I'm starting to run into the issue of having no longer having the contract. So a bunch of Rohan decks have the 3 Hunters contract, but we cannot use that. You know what? I think we can just shake one out of our pockets. Right. Oh, actually. Actually, I should update this. Oops. Update this. Oil lower trap. Okay. Yeah, we can spitball a Rohan Deck. That's not too difficult, I hope. So for heroes, we are going to look at least Spirit Theoden. Would you guys like this to be a 2-sphere deck or a 3-sphere deck that we include leadership somehow? Yeah, pretty much. We can also make a mount deck, but that's trickier to work with, especially since we've already used some. Let's see. Well, actually, no, that should be possible. Let's make a tri-sphere mount deck. So let's get Elfhelm. And let's get Eomer. This will be fun. So yes, this is going to be find all the horses, play all the horses, win with all the horses. Okay, let's see. Is there anything in here that I will need? We'll take Steward. I'll also take those errant riders, just to be able to play anything. Okay. And since this is a tri-sphere deck, I will also play the Storm Comes. Charge of Rohirrim. Okay. Just help me remind myself for including it if I miss it. Okay, let's see. I don't think we'll need that many neutral cards. We won't be able to use Shadowfax. That's one horse that we're not using. Since we are running an Elfhelm deck, we will be using a lot of songs. So here we go. There's a horse. We'll also need this, and we'll need one of these, just to be able to give more stats to the people riding the horses. I'm only going to include one copy because I don't think having 3 heroes will. I think we'll need the space for allies and attachments. Okay, let's see here. What's going to help? Eothane will be probably too expensive. Want some cheaper options? Coral, sure. One copy of him. Snowborn Scout will be free, will be nice chumps. Might include a Horn of Gondor just for them. Okay, no Rallying Cry, but Sneak Attack would be nice. Sneak Attack, Snowborn Scout, lovely combo. Not really, but hey. This will be extra card draw. Yeah, the horse breeders I will get to. They're in spirit, so I'm just going through them one by one. Our Destrier. Rohan can only attach to Dúnedain heroes. We don't have those, so that's a shame. Steed of the North, Dúnedain or Ranger heroes. So again, no. Okay, that's it. We are going to move on to Spirit next. I will have some cards to include from here. Won't be able to run Ally Elfhelm, but Ailment will be a nice inclusion, also for sneak attack. Right over the mark, not really. Hammer and gambling. Hammer and gambling. Let's see. Do I want these allies? I think I'll need the space for others, to be honest. Wild Stallion. There are some horses. Westfold Horse Breeders. Let's see. Oh, Prohuron Scout. Sure, that's decent stats for 2-cost ally, or 1-cost with Theoden. Let's add 2 copies. Okay. Right to Ruin might be fun, but since we are focusing on mounts, we really should avoid adding non-mount cards to the deck. Let's see, we'll take 1 copy of Herogrim for Theoden. I will take Unexpected Courage for someone, maybe Elfhelm. Steed of the Mark, generic horses. Windfalla, that's worth including 1 copy of, unique one, and we will be able to use it somewhere else. Snowmane, same. Horn of the Mark, that's on card draw. Hobbit Pony won't be good enough. Nope. Okay. Then we move on to tactics. And from tactics we are going to take a few cards. We won't be able to take Elfhelm again. Dwarf Deck Archer is crap. Gooflaugh is only 1 cost, so that's worth it. Grimbold, that's 2 copies. He's pretty okay, or pretty okay, he's very good. I will actually use the Westfold Lancer, 2 copies. He's a bit expensive, but he has great effect. How are we doing? Yeah, okay, I am going to move on. Here we are, Charge of the Rohan. Until the end of the phase, each Rohan character with a mount attachment gets +3 attack. That's worth it, I hope. I will take a copy of Firefoot. I will also take Tyler Thoroughbred, 2 copies, just because it's a generic horse. We'll be able to attach it to warrior characters as well, so it doesn't have to go on our heroes. I think that's most of the horses. Arrot is a 1-cost non-restricted horse. Golden Shield would be nice to play. And Theoden. I think that might be enough. I'll actually play Captain of Gondor as well for Theoden. Let's see how if we have enough. If not, I'll include some more of those spirit allies. We'll at least have enough mounts. And we get to play with some of the new cards as well. Westfold Lancer I haven't used yet. believe this is about the length we had yesterday, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So this stream is definitely longer. But I hope you guys are still enjoying it. I am starting to get a bit tired, so we probably have enough time for 1, maybe 2 decks, but not more. I do still have enough cards probably to build a Dill deck and another Dwarf deck. You generally have enough cards in your card pool, especially at this point, to build 2 Dwarf decks. Just make 1 minor deck and 1 swarm. Split them between 2 spheres. Yep, okay, so we are going to save a few sleeves here. Quite a few actually, 5. So we have to find 5 more cards. And we are going to take that from this binder. To be more exact, we will take 2 escorts, 2 breakers, and 1 traveler, just for some generic Rohan allies. And some decent willpower as well. There we go. Okay, looks like the deck box can fit maybe 2 more decks, we'll have to see. If you guys have suggestions for what to build next, let me know. Otherwise we will probably do a Dwarf deck. But in the meantime, I am going to shuffle or put these back into their binders. So I have a short intermission. Okay, well, that went faster than I expected. Let's have a sip of water. And update this. so that yellow is now our Rohan bounce. Bounce. There we are. Okay. Okay, I think we have enough time for one more deck. So we are going to make one more Dwarf deck in this case. So we are going to take our brown sleeves. And we are going to probably just make a Dwarf deck ourselves. I don't think at this point it's worth looking up a deck list anymore, since you cannot use half of the cards requested. And I believe we wanted a swarm deck, so we are going to do just that. I will take Dane. I am actually going to use Biffer. And we are going to take probably Thorn. That's a strong lineup. 30 threat, not too high. And this will allow us to play at least 2 sphere, but if we are able to play what's it called, the Narvi's Belt on Biffer, then we are able to play dwarves of any sphere. So we might do that if we run out of cards to play. Should I include Gandalf? Yeah, this deck is going to generate quite a lot of resources, and it can use the threat protection. So one of those. I am not going to do mining, so we are not going to include the Eredun miner. If we want, we can still make more card or make another deck of Dwarven mining. So in that case, we also shouldn't play the Hincage. Actually, I don't think. Oh wait, no, actually. We are going to want a Ring of Thror, at least 1 copy, and Arkenstone, mostly for thematic purposes. The rest we do not need. Okay. We will take a Soldier of Erebor. Just 1, he's expensive enough. We are not going to take Brock Iron Fist because, well, it's Brock. We are going to take Gimli twice. We are taking Glowing twice. Actually, there aren't that many dwarves. We could take the Sellsword. It's good to get up to 5 dwarves with the Sellsword, but yeah, it's quite expensive to keep around. So just include 2 copies. We are going to need some reading eventually. So let's do Tutors of Moria. Durin's Song is not only a great song, it's also a good card, especially for this deck. We are not idle, generate some more resources. I will actually throw in Mend the Walls, because this will lower the cost to play Dwarf allies as well. And Dwarf allies tend to cost 3 resources, and with this we'll be able to play at least 1 ally round 1 if we draw it. Hardy Leadership, 1 copy. Oh, actually, didn't I say I wanted Thorongil in this deck? Boop. Actually, looking back, I don't think it's worth it. I believe I missed. Yep, there we are. Another mountain. More card draw. I believe I forgot. Should be somewhere. Here it is. Feel it. Narvi's belt. Just one copy. I don't think we're going to focus on it too much. Cram. That's nice to get Dane ready. 2 copies, and I want for Dane, I want the ancestral armor. Okay, let's switch over to lore. Bomber isn't really useful. Dory is, so let's take one, 2 of them actually, since he does die eventually. Biffer is not possible to take. I actually will take a Warden of Healing, just because dwarves don't actually have healing, if I recall. Our Record Keeper, of course, 3 copies, easy to get a lot of dwarves out that way. I am looking for some more card draw. Ancestral Knowledge would be nice, but that's more of a location control card. We'll take 2 copies of Darren's Runes. I am looking for Legacy of Durin, 2 copies. And I believe that's everything we are going to need from here. Double check. Yeah. Okay, so we will take from Spirit. I want 1 copy of Dwalin, 1 copy of Keely, just in case that if we do happen to draw Narfi's belt early, we'll be able to play them. The same goes for Tactics. I would like 1 Battlemaster and Bofer. Let's see. You know what? Just because he's a unique dwarf, let's put in Nori. I think that should be enough. If not, we can always add. That might just be a little. This just might be 45 cards. We'll see. Let's start sleeving these. These sleeves are quite new actually, so they don't have as much friction with the card. Makes it quite nice to sleeve. looks like we are going to end up having some extra sleeves. Yep. So we can play some more dwarves. Or add some more to the deck. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards to include. In that case, we'll take Thorongil. There we are. I'll also take Swordthane just to be able to promote one of the allies. And I'll take from lore. Let's see if we have a dwarf. I'll take a Hammersmith. Actually, I'll take 3 Hammersmiths. Because the Hammersmith is quite good in terms of stats for his cost. 6 stats for 2 cost in lore. That's quite powerful. Oh. We even have one more card to play, so we'll play a Numerous Prospector. There we go. Nice. So let's update this again. Sure. I'll take a look. I'll put it on the desktop so that everyone can see. Let's see, new cards, or new decks, sorry. Not here yet. This one, probably. Okay. So let's look at the sphere distribution. Seems quite decent. One ring, nice. Yeah. But if you have ways to put more resources on Pippin, like Resourceful and Steward, then you shouldn't have a problem with playing all those lore cards. And I assume you want some more resources on him anyway to play Gaffer some more. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't really have any anything to add to it. Seems like you have all of the cards you might need. Thorongil, for who is this? Is this to boost the attack power of one of them, or to have Frodo defend? Spare pipe to get your defense, nice. Yeah, Mary to boost his attack, makes sense. Yeah, no, I don't really have any other suggestions by the looks of things. I would if I were you, I would just run this through a couple of easy quests, just some deck building tests, and work through those and see what you are lacking. So, are you lacking cards, or are you lacking resource generation? You do have enough options. Also, together with the contract, you'll be able to have plenty of flexibility with your deck. Maybe not include all three master cards, master attachments, because well preserved triggers at the start of each round, which makes Power of Command and Inner Strength useless. So maybe have a plan for one of them. In my case, I would probably go for Power of Command if Wandering goes on Frodo. Just because well preserved doesn't do a ton in this deck. Sure, Spare Pipe boosts your hit points by another point, but and Bill as well. But I wonder if you're going to need it. Also, my Threndir's advice. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, looks pretty okay. I would suggest just testing it a little bit, and then maybe make some adjustments if needed. And otherwise, maybe do some write-up, explain the combos a little bit better. There you go, 1 like. Yeah, okay, but Dol Guldur is Dol Guldur, and that's in true solo, that's quite difficult. Okay, oh, I did not mean to do that. Boop, boop, there we are. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that, because it is getting quite late here. And I feel like we could make a Dwarven Mining Pipe deck with the cards that we have. But I think I'll call it a stream for now. 3 hours and 40 minutes. I'm pretty exhausted. So if you guys have any questions, let me know now. And then otherwise, I am going to sign off, go to sleep. Maybe I'll do the other deck tomorrow, but yeah. Yeah, okay. The 3 master cards are, I mean, if you find a use for it, then they only take up 1 card slot in your deck, so. Pum, pum, pum. Oh, right, I should do that. Okay, I am signing off for the stream. Thank you guys for joining, and I might do more streams in the future, but this was pretty much the only event that I really wanted to stream. So if you guys really want me to stream maybe some live games, maybe some deck testing of these decks, then let me know. But I am signing off. So thank you guys, and have a nice weekend. Bye bye.